Okay, so the purpose of today's video is to show you how to fix that. And that is a cracked backlight, which means the very bottom layer of the screen. This is a MacBook Pro 13-inch A1502 that had a pretty heavy damage from the front. That I guess that deep that it's actually cracked the backlight. And you see, we just put this new screen, which is actually a little defective, so you see those lines, but for demonstrational purposes it's gonna work just fine. And if you see, that area is not looking so great. So and in this video we're gonna show you how you can take care of that. There's actually a couple of ways, and today we're going to show you one of them, which is just grabbing another screen like that, like a donor, and which we have right here. We already removed the screen from it, and just because it's all dented and the edges are pretty bad, we're not going to be using it as a screen anymore. It's more like a part that we grab other parts from. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to remove the films and the backlight from this screen, and then grab those parts from our donor screen, put them in here and test it and show you that this thing is not there anymore. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, first I'm going to shut down the computer. And like I said, there's a few options to fix that. In today's video, we're only going to show you one. And maybe down the road, we'll show you a few more options to do that. So let's disconnect it from the computer. We don't need the computer anymore. For now, put that away. Okay. I'm gonna disconnect the LCD, remove it. Okay, so now we'll need some safe place to put the top layers of film. And actually, yeah, let me keep it at an angle so that there's no glare. So I'm just gonna use like plastic bag, and I'll put those films that I'm gonna remove from here onto the bag and put them into a safe place. Now before I do that, there is a couple of little film stickers that I want to remove from the top here. It is one of them, and here's the second one. Okay, you got to be very careful not to touch the films or scratch them, because that is going to be really hard to clean or impossible to to clean at all. So try to be very careful. So now I am grabbing the whole stack of them, not one, but the whole stack of them, and I'm putting them into my bag or into a safe place for now. And if you can have a closer look, this is our plastic, and you see the damage right here. It's pretty extensive, so there's no way of fixing it. It needs to be replaced. And the way we do it is by carefully separating the backlight film, which should be just a clear film, the clear plastic film, from the bottom here. It's a little bit attached. There's a tiny strip of adhesive that's holding it down. So you want to separate it, lift it, and pull it downwards just a tiny bit, because it's, you know, it's engaged into the groove right here in the top. So it's installed there and then down and attached. So what we're gonna do is unattach it and then pull out from that groove. And being very careful, we can actually try and use our magic tool that I use in so many different applications, the playing card. And since we don't really care for this part anymore, I'm not really trying to be careful and not to crack it, because this part is super fragile and you can crack it easily. So, but in this case, I don't really care much about it, so I'm just removing it. And it did not crack. But now you can see this is the part, just clear film, and that's our damage right here. Pretty bad, huh? Okay, so put that away. That's gone. And so now let's put this aside for a second. Technically, what we can do is we can reuse these films too. That's our donor screen, and you see we already prepared it for the new screen. But then we kind of made a decision that it's not going to be a very good housing for a new screen, because it has so much like structural damage to the frame, and it potentially can cause, yeah, it has a casing on it. Let me remove the casing and show you. So that if we put a new screen into it can potentially cause damage to it. What do I mean? If you see that the screen is, the edge is that dented, then when you install a new screen, since this surface is not flat and it's a little bit, you know, curved like that, you know, when the screen when the screen is installed like that, there's just a tiny bit of a gap here between this area and that area, like, because this is pushed up. And when you install it, and even if it doesn't crack immediately or right away, over time, when people are using it, if there's a little bit of gap here and it's constantly being pressed when you adjust the angle of the screen, if that's the area where you constantly press and there's a little bit of play, eventually it will break and you have lines at first, and then the screen is going to start giving you like no image, or and plus, you know, areas like that. So we just decided to scrap it and use it for parts, and it worked out great for this video demonstration. So so now I need another bag to put my films from. So now I need another bag to put the films from this one, and I'm gonna put them right onto this one. So we'll remove the same stickers from this screen. Okay, and now I'm grabbing the whole stack of them, not just one. So the whole stack is gone. Now we expose the backlight. Now this backlight we want to save, so we got to be extremely careful, but the principle is the same. You want to start from the bottom and slowly unstick it, if you will, or unglue it from the bottom, and then slowly push it out. So let's see. And it comes out slowly. You also want to try and keep the adhesive on the actual backlight, so that, you know, when you install it into your good housing, it sticks. So now I'm using my finger and a bit of my nail to work it up. Okay, we're good. So now I'm pulling it down and it's released. So now you want to hold it. I'm putting this away. I don't need that part anymore. Here's my good backlight. Now another thing I just noticed is, I don't know, you probably won't see it. There is a tiny dent on this white sheet right here. It's very minor, but it might still show up. So since I'm not 100% sure, and I just want to see how it's gonna look, I will just try it and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm throwing in this backlight film here. Now you want to make sure that you go right on top of these LEDs. Try to leave no gap between the LEDs and the plastic film. So I'm actually gonna put the new set of films on it. So here's our screen. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Gonna connect this to my motherboard. And let's turn it on. So we're looking for any imperfections in this area. If there are some, then we'll probably have to grab this white film because it's perfect from this screen. The only thing is that they are attached to the screen, to the bezel. I'm sorry, to the housing, like pretty strongly. So I don't even know if I'd be able to remove it without like folding it or breaking it. I don't think I've ever done that successfully on this model. I think on Airs it was much easier. On these it's just stuck so strongly on the bottom that, again, we'll see, we'll try. And okay, so we need to open a wider, like a white screen, a very bright screen, to see those imperfections. And again, for now we'll probably see a few dots here and there, like black particles of some sort. We don't really pay attention to that at the moment because that is just dust that we can clean off. We're more concerned with the major stuff. I'm bringing the brightness all the way up just to see it better. And let's see that area. I don't actually see any issues or any imperfections in that area. you see those little like darker spots? That's just a protective film. This is still a brand new screen, and it has protective film on both sides. But yeah, the backlight just decided to stop. Okay, let's restart it. Okay, I don't know why the backlight glitched out. Yeah, and this battery is so dead, so it doesn't even hold the charge for a second. So as soon as I unplug the cord, it dies. So again, this motherboard and this operating system is only for testing purposes, so I don't really care to shut it down like that. You normally wouldn't want to do that, especially in customer devices. You always want to shut it down properly with the, going to the Apple screen and then shut down, or holding the power button for a few seconds and then navigating through the menu. But in my case, it's our computer, and I don't really. So if you look closely, then you don't see any imperfections related to that little indentation on the white, white layer. So I'm not going to be bothering replacing it. It looks perfect. I only need to take care of some dust particles that probably, we still probably have in here. And that would be it. But that's pretty much it. Again, the actual disassembly of this screen we are covering in a different video, and it's gonna be linked in this video, so you can watch that. But for the purposes of this video, we only wanted to show you that particular backlight fix. And again, here's the thing again, just to show you. This is where all those bright spots are coming from, and it's very easy to crack. So if you let's say drop a tool on it, you see it cracks immediately. So if you're working on this thing, let's say, and something falls, you see, it's not as flexible as you would think it's supposed to be. So it's on quite the opposite. It's very fragile and very easy to damage. So whether the shock came from the front of the screen or from behind, it would cause the same damage to the backlight, and those things are not fixable. You have to replace. You see, I actually didn't do much. It just fell apart. So that is very fragile material. So okay, well, thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to our channel. And there's more videos to come. Thank you. Bye.